Aloha everyone, this is Stephanie with the Whispering Dragonfly coming to you with the change of an era reading. So what we're going to talk about today is the change of the era going from Pisces to Aquarius that we are in right now, as well as discussing Pluto having its last hoorah in Capricorn before it moves into Aquarius for the next 16 years. What we're going to look at is what does this mean and how can you practically use these energies and navigate these energies for your personal change. Okay. Before I get started, I want to say thank you. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting. Please, guys, engage in the comments with what you see, hear, feel, a story that you have of your own for two reasons. One, it gets the algorithm out there so that many people can enjoy the free readings. And the other is it builds community. And I would love for us to build a beautiful community here where everyone can share what they need to share, as well as because of this change of an era and because of all of the different changes that are happening, Spirit's put it on my heart that from now until Pluto goes into Aquarius, which is November 19th, I'm going to be doing my sessions, my NLP coaching sessions, by donation only. And so how that works is if you've got the money, so my charge for a session is $225. That lasts for about an hour, hour and a half typically, sometimes more, sometimes less, always about an hour. If you've got it, please do donate that amount, or if you feel it in your heart to gift a session because you have the money, absolutely. If you're struggling or in a transition right now, donate what you can, okay? It really is that. It really is. I would rather at this moment work with as many people as possible to help you get to a place of sovereignty and to where you do have the finances and things coming in to take care of yourself. But I just felt like I wanted to open that up for as a donation basis. My email is in the description box below, but you could just go to pueoorganics@gmail.com and we can set up your session, okay? Please do share this video if it resonates with you. And of course, take what resonates with you, leave the rest. That's the whole deal here. And so let's get to it. Okay, so we are finishing up the age of Pisces and moving into the age of Aquarius. Now, Pisces is ruled by Neptune, and Neptune has this dreamy, forward-thinking, let's dream our future into existence. Pisces are born awake. So if you are Pisces or have strong Piscean placements in your chart, you're born awake and have to be brought back to earth, right? Where Capricorn and Aquarius, we are awake by 10 years old, and then the rest of everybody wakes up at their own time. Pisces are born awake. We have to keep them trying to be on the planet, right? Because you're already born awake. You already are in that spirit factor. That being said, the juvenile aspects of Pisces is dissociation, often drug abuse or alcoholism or eating too much food, anything that's detrimental to the health or that will help to dissociate from the reality that is happening. And there's a discussion happening with Brother Keone of Pohala Botanicals, I believe this weekend. So if you're watching this as I upload it, go to Pohala Botanicals. I believe it's .net. And they're going to be having a whole discussion with the group in class about this. Okay, so about this changeover of the Piscean age. So if you are curious about that, or if you've been downloading information and feel like, oh man, I need to discuss this, that's the place to do that. I believe there's a few spots open. I can't guarantee because there's been a lot of interest in that class. But so the previous era before Pisces is Aries. as evidenced by the war on the planet still, Piscean age would say that there would be no war because you're in the dream time. So we're at this space where we haven't quite completed the Aries era. Aries is war, individualism, forward thinking, but in a very it's ruled by Mars, so in a very active and sometimes aggressive or violent way. And we've moved into Pisces, is what we're in right now, without actually completing the aspects of Aries, right? As a human species and as a consciousness. So the reason we give this astrological information is because we as individuals, all parts of one being, one frequency, one energy, we're all a harmonic or an octave, okay? So we're all part of an octave. So right now we're in the octave of Pisces, moving into the octave of Aquarius. And each of us knowing this information and downloading our individualized information, because Aquarius is about information, forward thinking. Aquarians live 50 years in the future. So for my chart, I'm Capricorn in Western astrology and in Kabbalistic and lunar systems. I am an Aquarius. I'm an Aquarius Aquarius rising and Aquarius Mercury. Okay, so I have a lot of Aquarian energy in the way that I show up in the world. And so look at your chart, see where you have Aquarius or Pisces or Aries, right? Because that lets you know where you can make the corrections, because we're all here in our individual geometries. We all have a different way that we reflect the light and how these energies come through our system. And so this is an opportunity now to make the corrections needed as we're going into Aquarius to really work as humanitarians, okay? That being said, the I Ching is also moving in 2027. So this is from the human design system. Right now we're in the cross of planning, which is a tribal system. So you have a lot of people, worldwide news, and a lot of people working together, and we have the global internet, which I very much enjoy. We're moving into the cross of the sleeping phoenix in 2027. The species, human species, is updating and mutating. Okay, so we're going to be very different. You notice the children born right now are already different. They're remembering more than we did when we came onto Earth. The cross of the sleeping phoenix is an individual line. So the background frequency of love and light and let's all help each other is going to be more concentrated, smaller groups, not necessarily large global groups. So you already see certain systems, because Capricorn is top-down systems, excuse me. Thank you. So Capricorn is top-down systems, and Pluto's moving out of Capricorn in November 19th, so it's finishing its transit there, okay, for the last 16 years. We've been in a very patriarchal, crisis-based mode since the last cataclysm, actually, but we do have these energies now that are wanting to be integrated. And so you may see some collapse of top-down systems that can look like banking, governments, other things of that sort. And so you already see that those things are changing, especially even in the U.S. U.S. is having its Uranus return, so those energies are very quick change, destruction of systems, bringing online new systems. So it's a very down to the core change process type of time, right? And so we're moving into the Aquarian era, which has to do with the old way of exchanging information, which did not have to do with academia, right? So Aquarians live 50 years in the future, bring the technology back to the rest of us. That technology can be technology of the heart, meaning it is an energy technology. This is also actual physical technology, AI, other things of that sort. So the Aquarian era exchanges information openly, and there's not this fighting of the other, right? So academia says, I know best, and this is the amount of information that you get. You memorize it, you learn it, and that's the one. Aquarian says, we all get to be a sovereign authority, and while I may not agree with you, you still have information, right? And that information is useful, and it may or may not be useful to me, and that's okay. So it's not about saying you're wrong. This isn't how Aquarian works, right? So Aquarius is round table. This is how we store the information and pass the information on, and we teach each other, okay? And so it's a very different way of being. So you notice there's lots of old juvenile aspects of Pisces and Aries of I've got to be right. Even Capricorn, I've got to be the boss, patriarchal. This is the head of the company. This is this is this, right? Useful in certain business frames, not useful to build individual sovereignty so that we all have a voice. And Aquarius says, let's go in the sphere, okay? And so where one is building on top of other people, this is building with each other in a sphere. And so this is what we're moving to, but we're feeling the birthing changes, okay? So let's talk quickly about Capricorn, Pluto and Capricorn. So Pluto is the death and rebirth, okay? Pluto is the god of the underworld. It rules Scorpio. Scorpio has the scorpion as a symbol, but also the phoenix. Because what happens when you move through the underworld and you come out the other side, that's the phoenix rising. And that's what's happening right now. So there's a lot that's being burned off right now of all of us. We're all making a transit through the underworld. It is affecting the cardinal signs the most, which is Capricorn, Cancer, Scorpio, and Libra, okay? So check out those placements in your chart because you are going into a new identity. You are finishing up a 16-year cycle because Capricorn is depicted as the cosmic father. It's the 10th position in our Western zodiac, okay? 10 is the God number. The gateway to God, source, universe, the energy of all that is, whatever you call that thing that is more than you, the gateway to that is through Capricorn. What does Capricorn present? Capricorn is the cosmic father that says you will have all that you want on earth, but you have to move through and change your limiting beliefs, emotions, addictions, and toxic behaviors. Capricorn is represented as the devil in the tarot deck. The devil is depicted with people in an open cage. You are not caged. It's only mental, okay? And it depicts you can have that on earth and move out of the pain cycle and the karmic cycle because Capricorn represents the movement out of the karmic cycle, getting off the wheel. It represents the wheel, but the transcendence of that sign, of that energy of Saturn is time to get off the wheel of karma, okay? And so what this can look like during this time is from now till November 19th, Capricorn is, Pluto is in Capricorn, and there will be these finishing up changes of a 16-year cycle. So look at where you were in 2008, okay? I know I was moving to Texas. I had a lot of things that was going on in those 16 years. So look back at where you were in 2008. What started then? What relationships did you have in that time frame that worked or didn't? Okay, but we're basically looking at how did your how'd your business go? Which ways were you in your relationships? How were you in your relationships? Which things were about control? One of the things with moving to Aquarius is Aquarians have this communal individuation, meaning there's a humanitarian effect, but they're very much individuals, and they're air, so it's of the mind, okay? Even though they're the water bearer, they are of the mind. So we're changing from this Piscean, watery, Neptunian influence to take responsibility for your actions, for what you're bringing out into the world. Even our oracles, even our mystics, the oracles and mystics, you actually have a higher responsibility than the others because you lead and you flow the energy, and we are here to make these changes on the grid. So it's no longer, oh, let me dissociate. Maui's real good about, let me take my medicine, okay, and leave my body for a minute so that I don't have to actually show up in my power. Okay, I'm guilty of this too. I just had a session with my mentor. Very direct. Okay, we weren't demure on this one. We were very direct. Very time to take responsibility, Stephanie. Right. So my Kahuna, Uncle Ed, what he taught me first and foremost was responsibility means respond to your ability. Okay, so in all of this change and chaos, it is moment by moment, respond to your ability. So what does this look like practically? Okay, practically, it's knowing ahead of time you are going through a change. We all are, it's collective. So how can you handle this change? How can you flow and grow with it? First off, know where your karmic, we'll call it buttons are. What are your numbers? What are the things that has been a cycle of repeating patterns, okay, in your relationships, how you've shown up? Why do you keep attracting the same type of person over and over again? Why do you keep attracting the same type of money sequence over and over again? It's time to, or health sequence, time to move off that wheel. So this is an opportunity to be aware, this karma is completing itself. And remember, our ancestors and our karma on that wheel, people focus on the negative karma. Yes, that will be clearing up. But hello, there is positive karma. There's things that you have worked for that you haven't received yet. Okay, now it's time to receive it. So that's part of the thing. Some of you, this might look like imposter syndrome because after 16 years of things, you building things and them not going your way, taking 2 steps forward and 3 steps back, it's hard to trust sometimes that something's going to work out. But this is remembering, this is changing, and I can also receive the good karma. So the other thing is actively and proactively going, who am I being? Not becoming. We don't become anything. We are. Okay. Uncle Ed would tell me in his lessons, there's nothing to heal. That which is not you is that which falls off. Okay. So it's only the things that are not you that releases off of you anyway. So there's nothing to heal. If you're out of alignment, it's because you're trying to be someone that you are not. So get back into your being. If you're out of alignment, if you're bitter, frustrated, angry, all of those things will come up at this time because it's a very purge-worthy moment. You can look at that with awareness and go, okay, how can I see things differently? How can I hear them differently? How can I be them? How can I physically embody who I really am differently? than before. And that is going to move you forward. So this is you having the awareness that you're in a process, and in as much that you can decide, how do I want to be? The program, the background frequency, the program's going to program, just like the math is mathin', okay? The program's going to program. So how are you going to interact with it? How are you going to program you to be different in this particular moment, to show up as yourself? And it's okay if it is radically different than how you have ever been before, okay? If you've been the doormat, the dumping ground, never successful, anything like that. Excuse me, my cat's playing with my dress right here and it's messing up the light. Okay, well, that's okay. We got the light going the other way right now. Great. Okay, how can you face the sun? How can you move in a different direction? Okay, this is what's coming up for change. And it's about your consciousness that's going to change how you interact in the world. Okay, so in this life, the program's going to go how it goes. You get to decide in the way of, I'm wanting to say this correctly so they're downloading the information. You get to decide where your attention goes, okay? Where attention goes, energy flows, okay? And so really grateful for that. And I'm going to leave that there. Practical other steps would be to journal out, write out your next 5-year goals, year by year. Write out who you're being, okay? See it, hear it, feel it. Make a list. Make a list of your qualities of who you know yourself to be. And are you, in your responsibility, showing up as that? Are you being your most authentic self? Are you being the self that you've always wanted to be? This is the time where you're making that transition, that birth, okay? So I'm going to look at, we're going to go ahead and do the oracle cards now. But that just gives you guys an overview of what's happening right now. We incarnated a time of great change, okay? Great mutation to the species, great change for Mother Earth. We're moving dimensions. That dimensional awareness means, you know, we're reflecting differently, because remember, the dimensions are the angles that reflect on the light, okay? I might... we'll get back to that, but one of these days I'll connect a video that explains how the light moves through. So yeah, be graceful with yourself. Know that we are all changing and growing, but this is a practical moment to make a identity shift, to be in your being, and all else will shift as well. And this doesn't happen overnight. Even when we shift into Aquarius, you have to think Piscean era. We're at like 400 and some years or what have you. So it's not a immediate shift. Okay. So we're going to look at the White Light Oracle, the Star Codes, Astro Oracle, and Sacred Destiny, and just get a little more information. They want this one. All right. And this is the Seraph of 963 Hertz. It says, practice connecting to the joy that is always deep within you. Pay attention to what brings you exquisite delight. If you don't know what that is, you are guided to experiment and explore. Connecting to the joyful capacity of your heart will heal so much negativity and uncertainty. Let your heart relax. Allow the spiritual grace that wishes to reorder your life to manifest its miraculous magic. Okay? So this is the practical application that Spirit's giving in the White Light Oracle. It's saying, move towards what delights you. Move towards what, I don't like the word delight because it says delight, which makes me think of deactivating. And so, which lights you up. okay, which makes you feel great joy. Move towards that, okay? And moment by moment, you don't have to know your whole life plan. I've been in a change process. I'm still learning what I like. So if I taste something that tastes delicious, I'm like, oh, that's beautiful. That lights me up. Oh, look at that sunset. Oh, look at this, right? And allowing the little things to add up, and then you can look at what you're passionate about for the larger collective things. Also, they're guiding me to the 963 hertz. So listening to music, excuse me. I'm reconstructing here. Thank you. I'm getting over a cough and transition in that way. Okay, so we have the 963 hertz. So that is going to be very useful to listen to. It may have effects that help bring that joy. And I believe someone can correct me in the comments if I'm incorrect. Sorry, my eyes are watering a little bit. Thank you. Okay, so the 963 hertz is there to help uplift you, okay? We're going to look at the Sacred Destiny cards and get one of those as it pertains to this shift and change. Ooh, that one. Miracles. So expect miracles. And I wrote a song years ago. It was called Everyday Miracles. And what that song talks about is the everyday miracles that are happening all around you. You know, it's like a kiss on the cheek and a hug from the one that you love. You know, it's a shoulder to cry on when you need help from source above. Okay, so there's everyday miracles, and then there's the miracles that are the ones that you just think are completely impossible. But impossible says, I'm possible, I am possible. So expect miracles. These changes that are happening can seem quite miraculous. This is like going from one type of life to another and making that quantum leap. And so they're saying, expect those miracles to happen. And we're going to look at the star codes astro as well. I love that. And miracles are we clear ourselves and we add light to, the Hawaiians call it the bowl of light, right? So every day we have a bowl of light. And it's full of light. And as the day goes by, sometimes negative rocks and someone says something rude, or you think a hard thought about somebody, or you say something hard towards someone, and we put rocks in the bowl. And the light can't shine as much. But all you have to do is take the bowl and turn it over. And then it's full of light again. And that's the miracle, right? Is that you give yourself the opportunity and the moment to add light to those darker spots, clear out your bowl, and then the miracles can show themselves. Okay, they asked for 3 of these cards, so I'm going to. Okay, so we have Ascendant. All right, it's your entrance. Look at your ascendant sign. But this is saying collectively, and those who, especially who are in awareness and watching this reading, we're moving into the entrance here. We're ascending. We have Leo, shine. Leo's ruled by the sun. This does not mean that you have to be a Leo, but they are showing that this year coming up, and they're showing me the Lion's Gate. So every year there's a portal to enter into. But Leo is basically showing up as yourself. Leo also rules the heart and heart chakra on the body. And so this is showing up for you in a way that if I show up as myself, right? So if you show up for yourself, so you say to yourself, if I show up as myself and I shine, I can enter through and ascend into the next thing. And it's really important for me to shine. That's the change that's being made, number 5 here. Okay? It's very important for you to show up as you. Your skills, talents, and abilities are needed, and people are waiting on you to show up as yourself. Okay? People are depending on you in a lot of ways. And then the last one is the retrograde review. So this time, the next couple of next couple of weeks, I guess, because we're up until November 19th, that Capricorn, Pluto is in retrograde in Capricorn. It's so funny. It's your time to review. Okay, so you are in the hallway right now. We all are. We're in the hallway of the diagram, but look, the stairway is behind her. The door's open. We'll enter. Okay, there's a few different staircases. Recognize that they're spiral. Okay, we're not a straight line. This isn't a linear world. It's a spiral world. Okay, and so as you're checking in with yourself, with your own DNA, as you're reading your spinal cord, go through the spiral and review. And so it's like when you hit the next octave, you kind of can look down into the spiral and see where you've been before. And does any of that need to be upgraded? Does any of that need more light to it? And this is your opportunity to do that. It is a big opportunity. They said one rune, and then we will close this out, you guys. I'm very excited, actually. All right, we have disruption. Excuse me. This is Hagalas, and disruption shows up as hail. Okay, and the elements. But what it is disruption disrupts all of the things that have been sitting in your energy field and in your system and in the physical body and in your relationships, and it shakes it up. Right on time there. It shakes it up, which is why I have this going on, because it's coming out of the system so that it can come out of the system and that you can be made anew and actually be in your being as you, okay? Really beautiful energy here. It's not easy energy, okay, but it's beautiful energy. So let's really look at that. Just because something isn't easy doesn't mean that it's not worth it. You know, everything of value, there's a process, and it's not always an easy process, okay? But it's a worthwhile process. And I feel like in this culture today, where we have this instant gratification culture, there is this I'll say lack of allowing oneself to be uncomfortable. And I'm guilty of that too at different times. And that being said, I'm learning along with you all how to be uncomfortable and change anyway, and show up anyway, and shine anyway. I've been in one of the most uncomfortable times of my life the last 2 years. And it's time to show up anyway. And that is part of my change into my being. And I invite all of you to ask yourself, am I running? Am I instant gratification? Or am I choosing to allow the uncomfortability to be there and make my shift based upon who I know I am and the highest version of myself rather than the old patterns? So I invite you to that. It does yield really beautiful results, you know, if you put in your consciousness awareness, right? Okay, so that's it. Thank you guys so much. I love you. Please do like, share, subscribe, all the things. Please comment, and you're welcome to email me with any questions. And again, remember that the sessions right now are donation based. I really want to make sure as many people as possible get the help that they need, the guidance that they need to move through this process, because I really want, and I feel like collectively, if we're all shining at our highest light, what a world that is to live in, right? If we're all working like a beautiful, well-oiled machine, because we're all playing our own roles in the way that we are designed to, that's a beautiful world to imagine. And so I'd really like to see that come to fruition. So please do reach out, and we'll see what we can do. All right, love you guys. Aloha.